Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. This is iMac Sports with another football video, and today I'm going over my wild card weekend predictions for the 2023-2024 NFL season. I do predictions on the channel every single week, and sorry that I'm getting this one out so late. I have had my busiest week in probably a month. But with that being said, let's get right into it. I am super hyped for the playoffs this year. I think that this is one of the most balanced wildcard weekends we've had in a very long time, so I'm thrilled. First off, we have Saturday afternoon. We have Browns-Texans for this game. We have Joe Flacco against C.J. Stroud, the old veteran who has had massive playoff success against the young gun who's had some considerable success against playoff teams this season. I have the Browns winning this one 30-24. I think that if the Texans were playing almost anyone else in the AFC other than the Ravens, I would be picking Houston. But I think that the Browns just have a more balanced team. They have a more consistent defense, and Joe Flacco has been insane with his connection with Amari Cooper so far this year. I think that the Texans definitely have a chance of winning this one. I think that their chance is probably in the mid-40s. I think that it's probably a 55-45 game here. 55% chance for the Browns, 45 for Houston. But with that being said, I do think that the Browns have the edge. I think that the Texans are an explosive team, but they're less consistent. They can score a lot of points every once in a while, but their offense can also be fairly stagnant on certain games. I think that next year the Texans are going to have a lot of improvements and they will be able to make a strong run for it. But I think that this season they're just one or two pieces away on defense from making a serious run. And having Cleveland in the first round is a really tough matchup for them. Moving on to Saturday Night Football, we have Dolphins Chiefs. I think that this is the most anticipated matchup of the week for most people. Not for me, I have a different most anticipated matchup, but this one is for most people. I think that Miami is going to take this one 34-31. The Dolphins losing to Buffalo last week made this a tough pick to make. It's also the reason why they're even playing each other. The Dolphins would have been playing the Steelers had they locked up the division, but they were unable to do that. I think that they will win this one by a 3-point margin, and the only way that Miami wins is if they just launch the ball the whole game. They need to launch it. They need to make sure that Kansas City never has a chance to keep up with them. It needs to be controlled by the Dolphins the whole game, and their defense needs to have a good first quarter. If Kansas City gets out to a strong lead and Miami's playing catch-up, I don't think that their defense is strong enough to fend off the Chiefs. I'm going to give the Dolphins about a 53% chance of winning this one. I think that it's even lower than Cleveland's chance. I think that this is the closest matchup we have this season. The Dolphins and the Chiefs have the same record. They've had similar season trajectories. Kansas City starting off 6-1, Miami also starting off 6-1 or 6-2. They've both struggled against other strong teams, although Miami struggled more, and Kansas City did have a more difficult schedule. But I also think that both of these teams have underperformed expectations. Kansas City has not played as well as they have in previous seasons, and Miami has underperformed compared to people's expectations at the beginning of the year. I think it will be a very close matchup, and I'm very excited to see how this one goes. Sunday at 1 o'clock, we have Bills-Steelers. I think that this is the least, this is the most lopsided matchup. I do still have it as a 7-point game. I think that Buffalo has around a 65-70% chance of winning. I think that the Steelers' biggest chance is just getting all of the turnovers. They need to have a +2 or +3 turnover differential in this game if they want to win. They need to capitalize off of every mistake that Josh Allen makes, every big play that Josh Allen messes up, everything that can possibly be capitalized on. The Steelers' defense needs to do that, and their offense just needs to not turn the ball over. If their offense can get points off of turnovers, if their offense can make the ball down the field, if their offense can keep Buffalo off the field, the more that they can do those things, the better their chance of winning is. I'm only giving them around a 30% chance of winning just because their offense can't score at will. If their offense could score at will like Buffalo's could, then their chance would go way up. I do think that they're more consistent in terms of defense, but they're a very inconsistent team, and that basically with the Steelers, against the best team in the league or the worst team in the league, their odds of winning are about the same because they're just going to play their ball no matter who they're against, and it's really fascinating to watch, but I do think the Bills will take this one. Cowboys Packers, I have the Cowboys winning 31-27. This matchup, I think, is the closest matchup in the NFC. Sorry, not the closest. This is the most lopsided matchup in the NFC. The Cowboys I have winning by 4, even though it is a fairly lopsided matchup, simply because the Packers have been very streaky this year. And I don't think that Jordan Love's going to completely blow his first ever playoff appearance. I do think the Packers will take home the victory. I think that this will be a hard-fought game on both sides. But I don't think that Jordan Love is just going to throw him an egg. I think that it'll be a close game the whole time. I think that the Packers will have a fairly good offensive performance, even though the Packers' defense is strong. I think that there will be a defensive touchdown for the Cowboys, though. And the Cowboys' offense has been on a resurgence towards the end of the season. So has the Packers. And so I think that this will be a fairly high-scoring game. And I think that both teams will have a lot of air yards, and they'll focus on their passing game as opposed to their rushing games. And these were two of the top quarterbacks for passing stats this season. They both had over 30 touchdowns, so this is going to be a high-powered offensive passing game of football. Moving on to Monday Night Football. Yes, I put Monday night before Sunday night just because I think that this is the most boring game of the week. I apologize to all the Eagles and Buccaneers fans out there, but this is the most boring game this week. I have the Eagles winning 23-20. The Eagles are on they've lost 5 of their last 6 games. Jalen Hurts was number 2 in the MVP race, and now he's somewhere around 9 or 10. The Eagles were having a phenomenal season, and now they look like they could be beaten by anybody. Tampa started off strong. They kind of fell off, and then they kind of had a resurgence at the end of the season. They honestly almost look like a better football team right now. And Baker Mayfield's had some really high-powered offensive games. The Eagles have a horrendous defense. And so I do have this game finishing 23-20 just because I don't expect either quarterback to play well. But I could definitely see Tampa putting up almost 40 points if Baker Mayfield taps into what he was doing a couple weeks ago, where he had those 2 perfect passer games and he was going insane. I think that the Eagles' defense is bad enough that he could do that. I'd give the Eagles probably around a 58-59% chance of winning this one. I don't even think it's 60. I think that this is almost a 50-50 game. This is in the 50s. And if Tampa can find some offensive cohesion and Mike Evans has a good game, then I think that this could be a really close game, or Tampa could even run away with it potentially, depending on how poorly the Eagles defense plays and whether or not Jalen Hurts can get anything going offensively. Last but certainly not least, we have Sunday Night Football. We have Lions, we have Rams, we have Jared Goff against Matthew Stafford. Now, I've rooted for both of these teams at various points in time. I was a big Rams guy back in 2016, 2017, 2018. I had Todd Gurley in all my fantasy teams. I had Robert Woods and Brandon Cooks on different fantasy teams. I was a big Rams guy when Jared Goff was there. Obviously, I didn't root for them in the Super Bowl. I was rooting for the Patriots. But anyways, now I'm a big Lions guy. I'm a big Amon-Ra St. Brown guy. And it's not necessarily Jared Goff, but it's the guys around him, although Jared Goff's a pretty cool guy. So I'm kind of torn on this one. I think I am rooting for the Lions, but I love the way that the Rams team is constructed this season. Kyren Williams has been a phenomenal pickup for them, and Puka Nacua has been a really fun guy to watch this season. The Rams have just had a really fun offensive team when they're healthy, and the Lions have had a fun offensive team, period. I have this one finishing 43-40. 43-40 has been kind of my score this year for hey, I kind of want to see a 40-40 game. And I think that this is the week we can finally get our 40-40 game. This could even be a 50-50 game. This could be Jared Goff's second career 50-50 shootout. Both of these teams have I think that these are the two most consistently good offensive teams in the league this year, and I'm so hyped for this game. I think that this is the best game of the week. I think that this could be the best game of the playoffs. Honestly, I'm just extremely excited for this one. Um, I know I haven't given much insight on this, but I just think this will be a fun game. So 43-40, I would give the Lions probably a 62% chance of winning. Not because I think that the Rams can't win. I just think that the Lions are that good. Actually, I'm going to move it down. I'm going to move it down to 54. Sorry, 54% chance for the Lions, 46% chance for the Rams. The Rams have had a much better second half of the season, so we'll see what happens. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm going to probably do a full breakdown of a couple of these games tomorrow, and for all of the games in the divisional round. So I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.